Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to be covering the single listing design for the upcoming Canvas starter site. We're going to cover the light and dark mode. This is really exciting stuff in my opinion. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. From the MyListing Club website, if you explore through the available starter sites and you get to the Canvas product page, which we're seeing here on my screen, we're going to scroll down here to the build notes section, and we are going to expand the single listings section here. I'm going to pull this over to my other screen. We're going to follow along. These are all the highlights for what I'm about to show you. And there might be some things that I missed because there's just so much typically involved, but I'll try to show you all of the cool features. Okay. And let's get rid of my face there. Get rid of those distractions. You may see some areas of the starter site that are not finished, like what you're seeing right here on my screen. I will get to that eventually, so don't hold that against me. But yeah, so the focus here is single listings, and everything that you're about to see here, as far as the custom design, is all done with CSS and WP Codebox. Okay. All right. So to get to the single listings, we'll just get there really quick. We can click this Explorer nav up here, or we can click this search button right here in the middle of our page. By default, let's just get back to the core Explorer page. This is where you're going to land by default. Starter site customers, you can rearrange this however it is that you want, but this is the core URL for the Explorer page. So let's just start there. Yeah, just lots to get into. The previous video I did was for the submit form, and I'll show you quickly a highlight here, which is they kind of overlap, right? So if we were to edit this listing, so on the front end, pretending we are a listing owner, one of the things is the single listing character counter. So just in case you didn't see that submit form video, hopefully you did, there's a single listing character counter. So when you edit the listings, it will count the characters and tell you how, the max number of characters you have, how many you have remaining. So this eliminates frustration on the listing owner's part. So they know how many characters they have to work with when putting that text in there for those particular 3 fields. Okay, if you want to extend that to additional fields, feel free to submit a custom development job. The club has a really awesome special custom development service that's unlike any I've seen in the industry, where I try to get you your money back. So definitely check that out if you want to extend the single listing counter. Okay, MyListing includes a feature for defining how many characters a text-based field, text, description, etc. can use. However, by default, there's no ability to show how many characters are in use, leading to the listing owner being frustrated and possibly abandoning their listing submission. So a little bit of overlap with the submit form, but I wanted to bring this up. All right, so let's go back and bring up the listing itself. And let's go back to our highlights here. This one here is a very special one. This is the expert listing type. I get asked all the time, about this particular listing type and how you can make it really look great as far as like headshots and things like that. I'm going to get into that in another video because this is just about the single listing itself. But I'll pull up another listing type just so you can see other differences. And another really key part is you might say, hey, Ryan, like it looks weird because there's no images. And that is the idea behind this starter site, is that most areas are not going to have images. So like on the Explorer page here, which is going to be another video, you'll see there's images. I felt like, and there's some areas I really wanted to put images in there. I felt like it was really needed, but not in other areas. So the idea is for you guys, to use your imagination and for me not to influence you too much, or, put photos of campsites or photos of businesses and things like that. So you guys can use your own imagination of what goes in there. 9 times out of 10, my customers, clients replace the images anyway. So I give you the guidance on the image sizes of what goes in here, and you can just change them and make them whatever you want yourself. So that's why you may wonder why these weird, strange, gray boxes are here. And that's why, okay? With the expert listing type, there's no cover area. It's just this dark background. So you can do whatever you want with that. I've obviously chose to do what is here, but you could get creative. You could put some sort of a And maybe I'll do that at some point. You could put some sort of a textured background in here with like your own branding and stuff. That'd be really cool. But this is as it's going to be probably shipped. Pretty sure, not 100% sure. Maybe I'll change this to spruce this up, but not a huge deal. You can also do that yourself. But anyway, let's get through some of the highlights here. Quick actions and tooltips. The quick actions have been completely modernized with nothing more than CSS. When users hover over the available actions, they will be presented with the action name as part of a tooltip. So on a typical MyListing website, you will see, let me actually toggle this off so we can start to see the differences here. Single listings. We're just going to toggle this off, and let's work with actually the business listing type. So we'll work with this one. All right. So let me just duplicate this so we can see it before and after. So this is what you're going to get before with the quick actions. This is what you get, right? So this is now very modernized. When you hover over these, you get a nice tooltip to see what it is. It's just a way more modern, clean way of doing things versus this. Really easy, as I like to say throughout this video series for Canvas, any starter site that I build, you can easily take this out. It's just code. All you do is go in and into the CSS and you remove it. And another thing I'll point out is I've started adding a free month to the club community where you can ask for help during your first month of owning the starter site. Or if you're just in the community already, you can ask me for help anytime. I want to take these tooltips out. I want to go back to the way it was before. I will tell you exactly how to do that. It's very, very simple. There's no reliance on a developer. It's nothing super complicated. It's just a skin that I've added over the top to make it look more modern. Okay, enough about that. Those are available. This is actually a separate product download if you want to just get the tooltips. I like to break these CSS packages apart into bits so that those with different budgets, different needs can get some of these designs without having to, go and get the entire single listings package, which is only available to Ultimate members. Just break it up a bit. Okay, listing sharing. Have you ever visited a listing and clicked on the share quick action? If you haven't, you should. It's not pretty. So let's go ahead and do that. Click share here. This is what you get out of the box with MyListing. It is horrendous, to put it lightly. This is what I've done. Modernized it, thrown it over here to the left. Yeah, nice hover effect here. Really, really cool stuff. You could, depending on how many you have, you could, even if you just want to give it a shot, you can center these so it's like they appear right here in the middle. You can do that very easily. There's a reason why I didn't do that, and I can't remember what that is off the top of my head, but I think it was to accommodate people using every single link that was available. It just to fit them all in without them scrolling, I believe is what it was. But everything can be addressed with CSS. But this is how I've chose to roll this out. But it's just worlds difference. Okay, worlds different. What else? Regarding the mail share option specifically. So that is this one right here. By default, the content MyListing pre-populates in the email also leaves much to be desired. So I did something about this as well. Refer to that how to adjust the mail share option from MyListing single listing guide for complete details. So I have a guide on that and how to spruce this up. Obviously, if you get the starter site, it's going to be already set up for you, but I've got a guide on how to adjust this content that comes from this particular share item. Single listing contact form. I use Elementor Pro. I replaced Contact Form 7 immediately. I just do not recommend you use Contact Form 7 for performance reasons and just because it's very limited in functionality and design. So here I've embedded a nice Elementor form, and it is using a progress. So it's multi-step, right? So click next. I also should say, I've done this in another video, but I'll go ahead and cover it really quick. I'm pre-populating the username, the first name and the last name, pre-populating their email. They can enter their phone number if they want. Click next. You see the progress indicator going across. They put their message in, next, preferred contact method, and then they agree to the terms. These are terms links that open in a new tab. Okay. And then they can send the form. Okay. Go ahead and send that off. You'll see a nice message. Your submission was successful. That is available as a download itself, that form template. All right. And we're going to look at the dark mode as well. And I've got videos already out there for just talking about that form. Okay, similar listings. So that is going to be found under depending on, this is an important one here, especially for starter site customers to understand what was done here. This feature is enabled and configured to increase the value of higher priced listing packages. So what do I mean by that? You'll see here the way these listings are titled on the starter site is P4 through P1. So let's go over here. So P4, 3, 2, 1, that's the packages. So if we go to the pricing, we see here package 1, package 2, 3, and 4. So that's where that is P1, P2, P3, and P4. That's how those are designated. If you're looking at P4, that means they have the top level package, all of the features available. One of the things that you'll notice is that there's no similar listings down here. So let's pull up P2, for example. Scrolling down here, now you see how the similar listings are here. So this is a way that you can monetize. This is a feature of MyListing. You can say that if they purchase a certain package, then they're going to eliminate their customers showing up on their listing, as this package does. Okay. Looking at the pricing page, I explain that right here. So I call it, this is new to this particular starter site. I have to go back through all the other starter sites and do it as well. But I called it a feature called competitor blocking. Okay, you're blocking your competitors from appearing in your own listing. Right, up to you if you want to use it. Simple to remove. That's all this stuff is. Super simple to remove. But that's how that works. We're showing the competitors on these lower pricing tiers. All right, what else did I say? We got that. So yeah, whether if it's package 3 or package 4, so the top 2 pricing tiers, monthly or annual, it's gonna remove this whole block here. Okay. In short, listing owners would need to buy. So I already went over that. Open external links in a new browser. Single listings have some elements like the restaurant menu block items, general Peter block items, etc., that are external links, and there's no way to ensure they open a new browser tab without custom code. So, for example, let's go back here and let's go into offers. This right here is a link, right? If I click that, you see how it opens in a new tab? There's a code snippet in place in the starter site, and you can go grab it from the club. Without that, these are going to open external websites on, like they're going to just open them right there. And then, so they're, instead of keeping people on your website and going to the external sites, they're going to take people, this is going to take people away from your site. So it's a really important feature to have that in place. You want to keep people on your site. All right. Yeah, there's a code snippet to make that happen. In the build notes, I talk about assigning a code snippet to the block class. So I'll just quickly show you that for educational purposes. So single page, content and tabs, details tab, and let's go tickets tab. So that's the same as, it's just a different tab name as offers. We'll click into there. This is, like I said, a general Peter field will not open in a new tab unless you have this. And we have this CSS class attached to it. X link new tab. And then I've got CSS as part of that snippet that I mentioned that does that opening in a new tab. Very, very important piece. If you care anything about user experience, SEO, people staying on your site. Okay, moving on. Miscellaneous highlights. Review listing quick action. To improve the user experience, I customized the icon styling and adjusted the background color for the review listing submission message area. So this is all just to say that when you use this report quick action right here, I've styled this icon to match the branding. Without it, it's like this boring gray color. And then I've styled this box so you can see where you should be typing in your text. Okay. Countdown block. Centered the block heading and better styled the countdown timer. So for that, we need to go look at an event listing. So let's pull up the events. That is this right here. I've got some CSS that I've turned off. Let me go. Let me go turn it on. So this is the before, and we'll go turn that snippet back on. There we go, and that's the after. You can see worlds difference. Before, after. Cool. Countdown blocks. We went over that. Social network icons. Added some custom styling for hover and non-hover states. So let's go to media. And here you go, some nice hover styling, and just styling in general looks a lot better. Here's the before. That's what you get out of the box. Not great. That's the after. Okay. Reviews tab. To improve the user experience, I customized the icon styling, adjusted the background color for the review submission container form, and adjusted the message input. So again, similar to the review report listing, you'll see a clear box now, okay, for inputting the text. Here it is here. It's just harder to tell where you should enter text. So it does say enter a message, and that is text that I put in there, that ... to help. But you can see a clear separation that this is a box. It's completely separate from the heading, the title right there. Completely separate. These just kind of meld together, right? Okay, so that is all I had in my notes. Let's go ahead and let's look at some other things here. You see before how this kind of all just melds together. There's a border here at the bottom to kind of separate this profile menu. They call it the profile menu from the content area. So I put a nice gray background on here to separate it. We see the styling of the indicator icon. You see how it pops here. It's like it matches the branding. The number really pops out, and it really gets lost here without that. We talked about the quick action icons. What else? Really nice styling down here, clean styling. All of the tags, which I called amenities on this particular listing type. Links are nice and designed. This is what you get otherwise, where there's inconsistencies and some things don't look like links. Some things do. Again, this is an issue with the MyListing theme out of the box. You've got to correct it. See how this is also looks like it's just fixing a lot of inconsistencies in formatting and stuff. Here's the tags, what you're going to get out of the box. And you see now it's nice and clean, 2 rows, a little bit smaller font just to fit more in there. What else? We talked about the event countdown. Location is really nice and clean here, rather than this boring border that goes around there. And then the form, jumping over to the media, really nice, clean introduction video block versus, again, that boring border that goes around there before. Really cleaned up, the media here, getting rid of the border, just modernizing everything, if you will. Okay. This is a custom field or a custom tab using the general repeater. All of this is custom designed here. The buttons and everything do not look like this out of the box. Let's go to that. This is what you get otherwise. No CSS styling. This is what you get. This is what you get now. Worlds difference. Store. This is for multi-vendor marketplaces. In this case, we're using WooCommerce product vendors. And you'll see the styling here. So this allows listing owners to have their own little store within their listing. You see the vendor products down here. Sold by vendor. This links, if you click that link, it would actually take it to the vendor store. Completely separate video, separate feature. Look at it over here. Not so great. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not so great. Again, image placeholders here. This will be replaced by your actual images. I shouldn't say it wasn't worth me taking the time to add images to those, but they're going to be replaced anyway. So might as well put placeholders in there. This is all custom and lots of customization here. The stars, all this, the image upload, all of this. Here's the before, just not super bad here on the left, but this is really not great here on the right. Really, I made this look like a really cohesive form and made them look like separate sections here. Here it just kind of all melds together. That's the reviews, related listings. This styling just comes from the preview cards, which is another video that I will do shortly. It may be right after this one. So you can see they're pretty much the same. That's because that styling comes from a completely different area. What else here? Some of this just comes down to the way the listing types are built. The verified listing tick right here, that is custom. I've got a guide on how to do that. Super, super simple to change that color to match your branding or whatever you want to change that to. Really simple stuff. Button styling up here, I think that's by default with MyListing, so that's cool. All right, let's look at some other listing types to make sure we've got everything covered. So that was the events. Let's go look at experts again. Unique to the experts. I've styled the bio block uniquely, so it pops off. Really simple if you want to add this to the other blocks or you want to do different colors to the other blocks. It's really, really simple. It's all done. This isn't the listing type for the experts, but it's all done by just dropping a CSS class in here and styling with the CSS. Really, really simple to do. Happy to help you guys adjust that. Embed Google reviews. This is done by Embed Social. The club has a partnership and they're practically giving away. I think it's like 60 to 70% off if you want to use this. But really, really cool feature. They can actually click on this button. It's going to pull up in a new tab the ability to leave a review. This is all customizable. They have AI reviews. If you're listing or if your users are reviewing a listing and they're having trouble coming up with the words, they can use AI. And I didn't take a lot of time to do any of the styling and stuff with this, but there's just a lot of options here. Okay. I did another video for Embed Social, so definitely check that out. But I styled some things here to make this look better. You can scroll through the various testimonials. Next up is the services that they offer. This is a custom taxonomy. And I wanted just to show that I could do some different styling for this block versus this block, to really make these stand out. These are more important, and these are the highlights of the services. If you want this blue icon applied down to here, it's very simple. It's just changing the class. Very simple. Happy to show you guys how to do that. Else, open hours. Nice and clean look there. An important piece here is the book consultation. This block right here has been custom styled. And when you click it, it's going to pull up the light mode version of cal.com. So we see that right here. This is a free service. They are calling this the industry leaders are calling this the Calendly killer. So imagine Calendly for you people that like Calendly. Imagine getting Calendly for free. That's what this is. Okay. Lots of stuff you can do here. You can see here that I've got it set up to match the branding. I've scratched the surface enough just to demo this. I've done another video on cal.com if you want to check that out, but really, really, really cool stuff. In my opinion, you don't need Calendly anymore. There's a calendar.it partnership I have. I'm probably just going to drop that and drop the guides for that as well. I'm still thinking through that because for the individuals, cal.com, you can't beat it. So your listing owners can go out and get free accounts, easily embed their booking form into their listing and call it a day. For teams, that's where I have to look into it a little further. That's why I may not want to get rid of the calendar.it partnership just yet. I have to do the cost analysis and see if with teams, where the difference is and if it makes sense to keep that around. Anyway, really, really cool stuff. 100% open source, free solution. Definitely. It's a way to increase the list, the value of your listing packages. If you want to increase the pricing of them to offer this feature and all of this stuff. And I've got a guide on all of this on how to set this up. Very simple. It's just an embed. Okay. Let's see, let's go to media. That should be the same. Offers are the same. The idea here is that the expert has offers like deals for whatever they're offering. Store, if they want to sell products, again, reviews are all the same, related listings. Now, these are different. I'm going to cover this in a different video, but you see that the design from the Explorer page carries over into the actual listing. So again, separate video. Okay, let's look at some other listing types and just make sure. We saw this one in the events. That's custom. Oh, I'm going to go back here. A really important point. I agonized over this a bit. So you got to think about, and there's ways to do this with custom development, but you got to think about mobile as well, because the way these blocks shuffle. So I've got these organized in a special way. So when you look at it on mobile, that that bio will be first, and then these all flow underneath. So let's go ahead and look at that real quick. So see how we start with bios, our primary block, and then we go into work experience, and then education and training, and then certifications, and then we get into everything else. What people tend to do and they don't think about is they will stack all of the text based on the left and then put some of these other random blocks on the right. And what that does is it breaks things up and it's not cohesive. I understand it's very difficult to finagle that. There's ways with code that you can do it to where you can say, hey, on mobile, let's shift this block to appear here and all that. That's totally outside of what we're trying to do here at the starter site. Didn't want to overcomplicate things, but yeah, I took the time to make sure that all of this stuff is laid out in a way that it looks good on mobile too. All right, I think that is it for events for that listing type. Things special in lodging. I don't know what I did there. Open lodging. Make reservation. Okay, so here, this goes to an external. So the assumption here is that you're going to link to an external reservation system. So that's how that works. I'm just going to show you what's new from here on out. See if I can find anything. A lot of the stuff, as you know, if you've worked with MyListing at all, a lot of the stuff's going to look, it's going to have a lot of this similar features. You just tweak it here and there and make it unique to a particular listing type. Okay, restaurants, a totally different video again in a sidebar. Notice here, there's 5 listing types. My idea for the starter site is this whole thing will be filled up and this will be all kinds of different listing types. That way, no matter, basically any listing type that I can make valuable for people and add to this. The idea of this starter site is not to be for one particular niche, not just for local communities. It's not just for fitness. It's not just for travel. It's for anything that you can think of. You can buy the starter site, flip it into whatever you want. Okay. That's the idea. So a little sidebar there. Let's look at lodging. Restaurants. Make a reservation. That goes to the external reservation system too. You can maybe get creative with cow.com. If you're a really small restaurant just starting out, you could probably use cow.com to create a makeshift reservation system if you wanted to. Yeah, all of this stuff is the same. Oh, this is kind of unique. So a menu. So the look here is different. So this is just a way to display your popular items on your menu. There's no links to these. If you want to enable links to these, add descriptions, I showed you that you can do that. It's very simple. Okay. Everything else is the same there. Here, the button, if they want to view the menu, that takes you right over to the menu tab. Likewise with these other, let's look at the events. If they click this tickets, it's going to take them to the tickets tab where they can start to look at the different ticket packages and buy now. And then that takes them to the external site where they can buy the tickets and all of that. Again, all of these images up here are just placeholder images. This is the default logo that's added with the starter site. Obviously, you're going to replace that with your own logo, default logo image. And I'm going to have videos to go along with the launch of this, occasional videos on how to turn this into an actual starter site with real images and stuff. I plan on doing that. But I think most of you can figure this out, like what images to add in here. Okay. All right. So let's look at dark mode. Really simple to flip over to dark mode, toggle off global light mode, toggle off single listing light mode, toggle on global dark mode, toggle on single listing dark mode. And that is it. All you need to do. Fresh. Boom. Let's go to the details tab. Again, actually, I shouldn't say again. I don't know if it was in this video. I think maybe it's in the submit form video. This map, if you are going to go with a dark mode across your entire website, you can just do I use Mapbox. You can just do a dark mode map skin and it won't pop off the screen so much. Or maybe you like the way that it pops off, but default mode for this website is light mode. So that's why this looks like that. Same thing for this form. It looks wonky because it defaults to light mode. There is a dark mode form. So you would just go out there and you just swap it out and you're good to go. And I'll have educational videos on how to swap all that stuff out, but just trust me that it will look all good in dark mode. It is ready to go. Okay. Looking at the tooltips, those are all adjusted for dark mode. Media, everything is good to go here. Again, these images, because I assume light mode, that's why these placeholders are light mode, okay? These will look much better when they're actual images. This is all customized too for dark mode. Store tab, same thing, customized for dark mode. Reviews, lots of work went into this. Again, to make this look like a cohesive form with a unique text input box. All the stars work. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. Related listings. Again, once you have the listing previews configured for dark mode, which is a separate video, this will all look good. I can actually show you this real quick to show you. So for that, we toggle off listing previews light mode and we toggle on listing previews dark mode. Okay, and refresh the screen. And boom, there we go. So these are now in dark mode. Obviously, these images will be changed to an image, so that will all pop off the screen even more. Again, separate video will come up soon. Okay, so that's related listings. What else? Let's look at a listing of a lower package where you can see that similar listings come into play. We see those down here. I talked about that earlier, so I won't go into that again. What else is important for dark mode? I think that might be it. Let's go back to the Explore page, Experts. Okay, so this is how Experts look in dark mode. This is how that bio block pops off the screen. Consultation, I may have missed that earlier, but they have a book consultation button. Again, this pops up cal.com. Cal.com has a simple switch. You flip to dark mode and you're done. So this will also flip to dark mode. So I'm glad I caught that. Yeah, so it's light mode by default. It'll flip over to dark mode in your cal.com account with the flip of a switch. You don't need to do any custom styling at all. Same with embed social. This is in light mode version. With the flip of a switch, this will be over into dark mode and this will all look good. All right. I already covered the form, how that will look good in dark mode when you flip the switch. Okay, I think that's all the unique things in that. Let's go to businesses. These should all be the same. Yeah, that'll all be the same. Let's look at events. Look, we saw that earlier. So the countdown block is the big one in here. How we make that look much better. Tickets. All right, that's all good. What else? Lodging. I don't think there's anything unique in here. Okay, that's all good. And lastly, we'll look at restaurants. Okay, yeah, all that's the same. All right, cool guys. That's the CSS packages, light and dark mode for the single listings of the upcoming Canva starter site. You can get those as a download as we speak. Right now, they're available. If you just want to apply them to your current site or future site, or if you want to buy the starter site when it comes out, and all of this will obviously be included. All right, guys, catch you in the next video. See ya.